She announced, "I'm pregnant, but I need a DNA test to know if it's yours or Kyle's." I calmly said, "No problem." Then we scheduled a DNA test. What the doctor told us at the appointment changed everything. I, 31 male, was making breakfast when my girlfriend Reese, 28, dropped the bomb. "I'm pregnant," she said, holding a pregnancy test. I dropped the spatula. We'd been together for 2 years, living together for 6 months. This wasn't planned, but I wasn't upset until she added, "But I need to be honest with you. I don't know if it's yours or Kyle's." Kyle, her work friend who texted her good morning every day. Kyle, who she'd sworn was just a colleague when I'd asked about him 3 months ago. I turned off the stove, sat down. "Okay, tell me everything." She started crying. "It was just once, maybe twice. We were working late on the Henderson project and things just happened." "When? About 6 weeks ago." "Right around when? You know?" "Right around when we'd been trying to work through our issues, when she'd suggested we needed to reconnect and had initiated intimacy more than usual." "So you were sleeping with both of us." "It sounds bad when you say it like that." "How should I say it?" She got defensive. "Look, I'm trying to be honest here. I could have just not told you." "You're right," I said calmly. "Thank you for telling me. Let's schedule a DNA test." She looked surprised. "You're not mad?" "Oh, I'm furious. But getting emotional won't change anything. When can we do the test?" "Well, we have to wait until I'm at least 9 weeks pregnant for the blood test, or after the baby's born." "Blood test it is. Make the appointment." She hugged me, crying about how understanding I was, how she knew I'd be an amazing father, how this mistake didn't change how she felt about me. I hugged her back. Then I went to the bathroom and threw up. That afternoon, while Reese was at work, I called my brother Ethan, he's a nurse. "Hey, quick medical question. Can you do a prenatal paternity test at 6 weeks?" "Yeah, but it's not recommended until 9 weeks for accuracy." Why? I told him everything. "Dude, leave. Now. I want to know first, why? If it's not yours, you leave. If it is yours, you still leave because she cheated. It's not that simple. It's exactly that simple." But I had a plan. See, Reese thought I was some pushover. The safe guy who'd raise another man's kid without question. She was about to learn differently. First, I documented everything. Screenshots of her texts with Kyle. She left her iPad logged in at home. Nothing explicitly sexual, but lots of thinking about you, and last night was amazing messages from the time frame she mentioned. Second, I called Kyle. "Hey man, it's Reese's boyfriend. We need to talk." He hung up immediately. Called back 5 minutes later. "Look, I didn't know she had a boyfriend." "Really? Because she lives with me." "She said you were roommates." "Did she also tell you she's pregnant?" Silence. "It might be yours," I added. "What? No. No way. We used protection. Every time?" More silence. "I can't have a kid right now. I'm getting married in 4 months." "You're engaged?" "Yeah, to Aria. We've been together 5 years. And you're sleeping with Reese?" "It was a mistake. Just a couple times." "A couple?" Reese said once or twice. "I mean, maybe 4 or 5 times. Look, Aria can't know about this." I hung up. 4 or 5 times. Not once, maybe twice. Update 1. The blood test appointment was in 2 days. Reese had been playing perfect girlfriend, cooking, cleaning, being extra affectionate. She'd also been texting Kyle constantly, though she thought she was being sneaky about it. What she didn't know was that Kyle had been texting me too. Panicking about his wedding, begging me not to tell Aria, offering to pay for the abortion if Reese would get one. Yeah, he was a real prince. The night before the appointment, Reese sat me down. "I've been thinking," she said. "Maybe we don't need the test." "Why not?" "Well, even if it's Kyle's, you're the one who's here. You're the one who loves me. Biology doesn't matter." "It matters to me." "That's so old-fashioned. Lots of men raise kids that aren't biologically theirs. By choice, with full knowledge, not because they were lied to." She started crying. "Why are you being so cold about this?" "I'm not cold. I'm practical. We need facts before making decisions." "Fine. But when this test proves you're the father, I expect an apology for not trusting me." The audacity. She cheats, admits the baby might not be mine, but I need to apologize for wanting confirmation. The next morning, I called in sick to work, told Reese I had an important meeting. Instead, I drove to Kyle's workplace. He saw me in the lobby and tried to run, literally turned and speed walked toward the elevator. "Kyle, we need to talk about tomorrow." His coworkers all turned to look. He stopped, face red. Not here, he hissed. Then where? You won't answer my calls. We went to a coffee shop across the street. He was sweating bullets. I'll sign away rights, he said immediately. If it's mine, I want nothing to do with it. What about Reese? What about her? She's your girlfriend, who you slept with, multiple times. She said you guys were basically broken up. We lived together. She said that was just for convenience, that you were moving out soon. More lies. I was starting to see a pattern. Show me the texts where she said that. He pulled out his phone, scrolled for a bit, then showed me. Screenshots don't lie. Reese had been telling him for months that we were basically roommates, that I was emotionally absent, that she was planning to leave soon. She'd been setting up her backup plan. If things worked out with Kyle, she'd leave me. If not, she had good old reliable me. I'm sending these to myself, I said, forwarding the screenshots. Please don't tell Arya. I'm not your relationship manager, Kyle, but you should tell her yourself. He left looking like he might puke. Good. Update 2. We went to the appointment together. Reese held my hand in the waiting room, playing the nervous, expectant mother. The nurse called us back, took Reese's blood, then turned to me for my sample. Oh, the nurse said, looking at her chart. Mr. Davidson? We already have your sample from last week. Reese's head snapped toward me. Last week? Yeah, I said casually. I came in early to save time today. That was a lie. But Reese didn't know that. The nurse looked confused but professional. I don't see any record of. Could you check again? Maybe under my full legal name? She typed something. Oh yes, here it is. Must have been a filing error. God bless medical professionals who can read a room. Reese was suspicious but couldn't say anything without looking crazy. After the blood draw, the doctor came in. Dr. Martinez, an older woman with kind eyes. So we're doing a prenatal paternity test today? Yes, Reese said quickly, just to be sure. I see. And Mr. Davidson, you're the potential father? One of them, I said clearly. Reese kicked me under the table. Dr. Martinez raised an eyebrow. One of them? There's another potential father, Kyle Morrison. He couldn't make it today. He doesn't need to be here, Reese said. It's definitely one of you two. Actually, Dr. Martinez said, for the most accurate results, we should test all potential fathers. Kyle's not available, Reese said quickly. That's strange, I said, pulling out my phone. He texted me saying he was on his way. Reese went pale. You invited Kyle? We all need answers, right? 20 minutes later, Kyle showed up looking like he was walking to his execution. His fiancée Arya was with him. The waiting room got very uncomfortable. What is she doing here? Reese demanded. I told her everything, Kyle said quietly. She deserves to know. Arya looked at Reese with pure disgust. You're the home-wrecking piece of trash who's been sleeping with my fiancé? I'm not a home-wrecker. I didn't know about you until when? Because Kyle says you've known for months. Dr. Martinez intervened. Perhaps we should all calm down. Mr. Morrison, we'll need your blood sample as well. As Kyle got up to follow the nurse, Arya called out. By the way, Reese, I'm pregnant too, 3 months. So congratulations, you might have given my baby a half-sibling. The look on Reese's face was something I'll never forget. Update 3. A week later, we all met back at the clinic. The tension was unreal. Reese hadn't spoken to me in 3 days after finding out I'd ambushed her with Kyle and Arya. Dr. Martinez came in with the results. I have some unusual news, she began. Just tell us, Reese snapped. Mr. Davidson, you are not the biological father. My heart dropped, even though I'd suspected it. Mr. Morrison, you are also not the biological father. Wait, what? Everyone started talking at once. Reese was screaming about faulty tests. Kyle was demanding a retest. Arya was laughing hysterically. However, Dr. Martinez continued, raising her voice, there's more. The room went silent. Miss Thompson, when we ran your blood work, we discovered something. You're not actually pregnant. What? Your HCG levels indicate what we call a chemical pregnancy. You were pregnant very briefly, but it wasn't viable. Your body has already miscarried. The pregnancy tests you took at home were likely during the brief window when HCG was present. Reese broke down sobbing. But I had symptoms. Morning sickness. Stress and anxiety can mimic pregnancy symptoms, Dr. Martinez explained gently. So there's no baby? Kyle asked, looking relieved. There's no baby. But the paternity test, I started. We ran it on the fetal DNA present in her blood from the non-viable pregnancy. Neither of you are the biological father of that pregnancy. Meaning there was a third guy. Reese was sobbing. Kyle was stunned. Arya looked at me with something like pity. Who else, Reese? I asked quietly. I can't. Who else? It was just, there was this guy at the conference in March. It meant nothing. March, 3 months ago. When she'd gone to a work conference that I now suspected wasn't entirely about work. Anyone else? She just cried harder. In the parking lot, Kyle tried to talk to me. Man, I'm sorry about all this. Save it for Arya. Arya surprisingly came over to me. You okay? I will be. For what it's worth, you handled this with more class than I would have. I'd have burned everything down. Day's not over yet. She actually smiled. Good luck. They left together, Kyle trailing behind her like a beaten dog. Reese was waiting by my car. Can we please just go home and talk about this? You can go home. I won't be there. You're leaving me? After I just lost a baby? You cheated with at least 3 different men. You lied about everything. And you tried to make me raise another man's child. I thought it was yours. I hoped it was yours. Hope? You hoped? She tried to grab my arm. Please, I need you. I can't do this alone. Then you should have thought about that before you did it in the first place. I got in my car and left. She called me 36 times on the drive home. I didn't answer once. Final update. It's been 2 weeks since the clinic disaster. Here's where everyone ended up. Reese is living with her sister Mira. She tried to spin the story on social media about how I abandoned her during a miscarriage, but that backfired when Arya commented with the full truth. Reese deleted all her socials after that. She showed up at my work last Monday, making a scene about how I was heartless and cruel. Security removed her. My boss, who'd heard the whole story through office gossip, told me to take the rest of the week off paid. Nobody needs that kind of drama, he said. Kyle and Arya are somehow still together. She's making him go to counseling, and from what I heard through mutual friends, he's basically on probation for life. She made him quit his job to get away from Reese and any other temptations. He now works at his father-in-law's plumbing company. Karma. The conference guy? Turns out his name was Derek, and Reese had been texting him too, hoping he'd leave his wife for her. He blocked her when she told him about the pregnancy scare. But here's the real kicker. Remember how I said I had a plan? Well, 2 days before the DNA test, I'd already signed a lease on a new apartment. I knew, regardless of the results, I was done. The test was just about getting closure and making sure I wasn't on the hook for child support. The morning after the clinic, I moved out while Reese was at her sister's. Took everything that was mine, which was basically everything since she'd moved into my place. Left her clothes, her makeup, and the couch she'd bought from a garage sale. She came home to an almost empty apartment and a note. Rent's paid until the end of the month. After that, it's your problem. She tried to contest it, saying I'd illegally evicted her, but she was never on the lease. She was just a guest who'd overstayed her welcome. Her sister Mira actually reached out to apologize. Turns out Reese had been bragging to her about juggling multiple guys, calling me her safety net, and Kyle her fun option. Mira had told her she was being horrible, but Reese had said I'd never find out. She's always been like this, Mira told me. Even in high school, she'd date the nice guy while hooking up with the bad boys, then play victim when it blew up. I'm sorry you got caught in her tornado. Last I heard, Reese was on dating apps, looking for her next safety net. Her bio says she's looking for a real man who can handle a strong, independent woman. The delusion is strong with that one. As for me, I'm in therapy, working through the trust issues this whole mess created. My therapist says I handled it better than most would have. You stayed calm, got facts, and protected yourself legally and financially. That's impressive. It doesn't feel impressive. It feels like survival. But I did learn something valuable. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And when they tell you you're pregnant with a baby that might not be yours, run a DNA test. On everything. My buddy asked if I regret not giving her another chance. Another chance to what? I asked. Cheat with 4 guys instead of 3? Lie about 5 things instead of 10? Nah, I'm good. You don't think people can change? Sure they can, but Reese doesn't think she did anything wrong. She thinks she's the victim. Hard to change when you can't even see the problem. He bought the next round. Oh, And the best part, last week I got a text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Derek's wife. I heard you were Reese's boyfriend. Can we talk? Turns out Reese had been sending Derek pictures and messages even after the conference. His wife found them. She wanted to compare notes. We met for coffee. She brought receipts, literal receipts, from the conference hotel. Room service for 2. Champagne. The works. My husband said it was one drunk night, she said, but you don't order room service for a one-night stand. No, I agreed. You don't. She's divorcing Derek, taking him for everything. Good for her. It's been a month now since everything imploded. I'm in my new place, which is smaller but quieter. No drama, no lies, no mysterious texts at 2 a.m. Just peace. Reese sent one last message yesterday. I hope you know you threw away something special. I replied, I know exactly what I threw away. Then I blocked her. Cool? Cool. Edit. To everyone asking why I went through with the DNA test if I was leaving anyway, I needed to know she couldn't come after me for child support later. Cover your bases, people. Edit 2. Yes, this is real. Yes, people are really this messy. If you've never encountered someone like Reese, consider yourself lucky. Edit 3. For those saying I should have been more sympathetic about the miscarriage, she was barely pregnant for a hot minute with some random conference hookups baby while telling me it might be mine. My sympathy well was dry.